Buddy saw Mr. T beating him to the hay. He had to race out there, try to get there before Mr. T. Hey, gun people. I wanted to start it because I was doing I saw the boys doing their little thing, and I went, I'll shut up to start this early. Moki's up there for y'all that care about Moki Cat, sleeping in the garage. Pat brought back my heater. Y'all quit giving him shit. He was I think he got his feelings hurt when you guys started picking on him for not returning my heater. He was kind of crying. Oh, poor Pat. He got in trouble for stealing Rick's heater. Alright, that's the bookshelf I was working on. I got that backing the other day. I'm going to put that behind it. I'm still trying to debate on whether to put those little wooden support beams there all the way across on each one, or just maybe do it at the top like that for support. Since I got the backing, I think I'm just going to put it on the top and the bottom. But anyway, I want to do a follow-up on that. I still got this damn cold. On the shooting, the woman screaming. I've got a Ricola in my throat, trying to clear out my congestion. I'm going to turn that heater on so it'll stay warm in here. I can't stay in the house anymore. So, on the woman shooting, screaming, using the defense tactic that's being taught in the academy now. When you're in trouble, you just scream, and then hopefully another officer will come save you and shoot the person that you let draw a gun, and your officer's safety was so bad. A couple people are asking, why didn't the officer shoot before? And I'm not saying a male officer is perfect. I don't say all male officers are perfect. There's bad cops, bad training, and training is consistent. So when you see a cop do good, he's got the same training as the cops that you see do bad. Training is pretty consistent across the country. Now granted, some agencies spend more on ongoing or reoccurring or advanced training, but for a whole, most departments, everyone receives the same initial training, but each individual officer takes it upon themselves to either stay mindset, mentally aware, perfect their skills, perform their skills routinely, go to the range, try to get better, take advanced classes, etc. So, the old thing that every time somebody sees a cop do bad, they need more training. I can give you all the training in the world. If you don't take it seriously, if you don't stay in a mindset, if you don't practice what you're told and set yourself, that woman did, I just can't even remember all the things she did wrong. You never stand right in front of the door. That's a very bad officer safety. One, you're not in a 60-40 stance, you don't have your gun sight away, you're not ready, you're not watching, you're not controlling the suspect. She's standing flat-footed, straight on with the door, so the guy can open the door and kick it and knock her down, and then he could have shot her. He could drag her in the car and drive off because she's right at the front door. He can grab onto her, hook onto her belt, and drive off and start dragging her down the road and then drop her and let the back wheels run over her. Whereas if she was behind him and you stay with that door frame and you're making the suspect turn around, you're keeping him off guard. He has to do more movement. When you require the suspect, remember tactics is you want to give yourself more time, you want to be able to act and make them react. You don't want to let them use their plan. So she didn't do any of that. She let him dictate. She's standing in front, had her hands full of paperwork, working her radio, doing it, not gun aware, not keeping an eye on him, acting like she, thinking about her next Big Mac instead of freaking dealing with, hey, I'm out here at night by myself, and somebody said that the guy had killed somebody on a drug raid three days earlier, and they found out later. Well, look, you know what? I'm I may have stopped a freaking murderer one time and let him go. If he didn't act crazy, and I didn't run him into the system, and it was a minor thing, and he bullshitted me, and I was like, all right, get out of here, I don't want to mess with you, I may have let a murderer go. I don't freaking know. But you can't go with the mindset that everyone is safe. And to me, she was, and I think women like that now with this programming, this liberal, you know, all I got to do is scream and yell, and all I got to do is be loud, and all I have to do is, you know, claim that somebody's sexist, and I get my way. That's great for getting your way there, but it doesn't set up long-term survival skills. It doesn't put you in a mindset. And women police officers now know I don't have to form a standard. I mean, I've done plenty of videos where women are suing the police department because they're making them do too many push-ups, and it's not fair to the women. And they shouldn't have to do pull-ups because it's not fair to the women. But they want to be hired, and they're just as good as a man. So they keep lowering the standard. You keep setting yourself up to lower the standard, and then you wonder why things like that happen. So on the male guy, I get it. The male guy didn't look like he was in great shape. When he was running, I saw his gun flopping. You know what? Maybe he carried it that way. Maybe, I didn't even notice. I kind of think I'd have to go back. I thought he had like a polo shirt on. I'm not sure he was in the same uniform as her. So he might have been a detective. He might have been carrying his gun that way. He might have been in plain clothes that day. He may have just been driving by and backed her up. We don't even know if that was an official police car that backed it up. I didn't see. Not making excuses for him. When he pulled up there, though, all he heard was her screaming. Now, if you ask most male cops that work with female cops, 90% of them is going to say, I hear female cops screaming all the time. They scream on the radio. They scream at incidents. I mean, you can't draw your gun and start shooting people every time a female cop screams. It just doesn't work. So he didn't have his gun out because he heard her screaming. And he was like, hell, I don't know, maybe they're bending her freaking pinky finger. Let me get up there. You can tell he wasn't running like, I gotta save this girl. He was kind of like, what the hell is she screaming about now? And then when he got close, he saw the gun. She never said gun. She never had her gun out. She wasn't communicating. The only person she communicated with was with the bad guy, trying to cut a deal with him. I'll just leave. I'll just leave. Don't shoot me, I'll just leave. Oh great, you'll leave and you'll let him shoot another cop later. Or you'll let him shoot the male cop because you're going to leave. I mean, and I know people are going to say, well, she was just probably bargaining, she probably wouldn't have left. I think she might have left. She went into, and I talk about the color zones, the white, yellow, orange, red, black. Black's panic, you don't want to go to black. Red is action, you're doing it. She was operating, in my book, in a white and yellow, which is way too low for dealing with an unknown suspect on a dark road at night when you're a cop and you're getting information. That's just, you shouldn't be that low. You need to be at least at orange or red, ready to act. Orange, you're ready to act. And it doesn't take long to go from orange to red to where you're actually engaged in shooting or doing something. In my mind, she went from white or yellow, very low on the scale, and she jumped all the way to black panic. She didn't have a plan. She wasn't prepared. She didn't... I tell you people, be nice to everybody, but always have a plan to kill them. And, you know, every time I get in the elevator, man, I don't get in the elevator a whole bunch. I'd rather take the stairs. But if I'm in a big, tall building, I'll take the elevator for time's sake. I'm always in the back corner sizing everybody up. If this elevator gets stuck and somebody goes crazy, how am I going to take this guy out? How am I going to take that guy out? And you know what? You call me paranoid, but you have to be... If you have this plan and this mindset, if something happens, you're going to react quicker, you're going to react more effectively. And that's the problem when you're not prepared, when you don't have that warrior mindset, that guy that said, I don't know, I'll try to clip this in here. Remember that guy says, I ain't dying?
In my mind, I'm never going to die in no ghetto. Absolutely never. If a man turns around and punches me in the head, the fight's on. If he cuffs me, the fight's on. If I'm shot, the fight is on. I'm not losing no fight to no scumbag out there in no ghetto. Period. That's it. No son of a bitch out there is going to get me. The only way he gets me is cut my head off, and I mean that. I'll fight you till I got a breath left in me. I don't think any of those animals in that street can beat me. And I've gone that way for 18 years of street service, street duty. That's the way I'm going to keep on going. You don't lose the fight.
In the ghetto, I'm telling you, you've got to have that mindset when you're working with bad people. Now, maybe this girl works in a nice little neighborhood, and the biggest thing she's done all week is give a traffic ticket or a parking ticket. And maybe she's never had to experience this. This is the first time, and we can make all these great excuses on why this wasn't her fault. And why it was the male's fault for not training her. And it was the male's fault for having sexist policies that gives men more training. And it was the male fault. We can blame all this on men. I mean, I've already got comments from women on there saying, well, she was scared. That's a normal reaction. I don't know what y'all are making of it. I'm like, are you kidding me? You're going to justify this weak reaction, performance, poor officer safety? She caused that incident. Rick, you can't blame her. The guy pulled it. She caused. Look, I'm telling you, I've seen crooks that looked like they were about to do something because the cop that was there was a sloppy, lazy, didn't care, just wanted to go on. They knew they could get away or make a move. And then somebody shows up who looks like they ain't playing, and their attitude changes. They're like, uh-oh, I don't want to test this dude. I mean, it just happens. So the fact that she's a female, most males who are committing crimes, they're going to challenge meat eaters. They're going to challenge other guys. They're damn sure going to challenge a woman. Well, Rick, they're sexist and they can't do that, and we should file an equal opportunity complaint because criminals should treat women just like male. Well, you're a freaking idiot. And that's the problem with hiring and promoting these females in these positions. Now she's going to be promoted, and all these women who are promoted, now they're making policy. And you know what they base their policy on? Well, when I was a woman, I felt it wasn't fair. And, you know, these men did things, and it's tough for us women, and we need to make policies more women-friendly. That's how when you start promoting women. Same thing when you start promoting people for color. You start promoting somebody from color, next thing you know, they're making policy decisions based on color. Well, when I was there, I know that there's racism, and I know that Asian officers just don't get treated as well as black officers or white officers. And I know that Chinese officers don't get treated as well as Japanese officers. And, you know, when you start filling all this minutia bullshit, instead of having a standard, instead of making cream rise to the top, instead of making, you know what, you need to compete and you need to win. No, we can't win, Rick. Everybody's got to get a freaking trophy for participating. Well, that's a freaking problem. That's why that's why cops shoot now first instead of being able to handle a situation without shooting. Because it's just easier. It's easier because all the women get to pull out their taser because the guy says, I don't like your uniform, I'm going to tase you, and they tase them. Well, she's a woman, Rick, and, you know, disparity of force and everything, she's allowed to use force, and if a male officer did that, that would be too much force. But she's a woman, and she should be able to tase somebody if she feels in fear. I told you about the story in Davis where the girl pulled up, shooting, female officer, male's in a shootout. She puts her car in reverse, backs up, and leaves. And they praised her for knowing her limitations, for not getting involved over her head. She shouldn't be ashamed. It was good that she left an officer there, a male officer, to shoot out in a gunfight at a store, and it was good that she knew her limitations and left. I mean, I was just mind-boggled. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? And nobody could say nothing because if they did, they were sexist. They weren't promoting equal opportunity. They were making females feel bad because they ran from a gunfight. But they want the same pay and they want the same promotion. And the next promotion cycle, guess what? We don't have enough women sergeants. So even though 14 men finish 22 times higher than all females, we got to hire the lowest scoring female because we need a female. It's the same thing with color. We gotta hire a black guy that finished last and promote him, even though there's 14 women and 14 men, white men, that scored higher. Nope. We gotta hire a black guy. So even though he finished last, Equal opportunity, Rick. That's how we get progressive. Tolerance is our strength. Diversity is our strength, Rick. That's how we make things good. That's how you lower the standard. That's how you get people hurt. That's how you get good people who want to do the job saying, I'm done with this job. I'm not going to go work with a bunch of incompetent idiots and risk my life because I got to work with incompetent idiots. So, I wanted to ask you guys, how many of you think that if a male officer was fighting a guy with a gun, that she would have ran up and shot him and saved him? I'm telling you right now, that girl would not have shot him. She probably wouldn't have got her damn gun out. She probably would have ran back, got on the radio, started screaming, and she probably would have been dancing around aiming her gun, and she would have never fired. Rick, you can't say that. You don't know. You didn't give her a chance. I'm telling you. Prior actions is the best dictator of future actions. And I'm telling you, that girl has the mindset of a freaking Michelin donut person, and she is not a meat eater. She is not aggressive. She does not see threats. She does not handle threats. She runs around life like a lot of liberals. I'm a woman, I'm entitled, and you owe me, and you can't tell me that I'm wrong. You can't tell me that I got to do better. You can't tell me that I do anything wrong or you're a sexist. And that's just what you promote. But I'm telling you, man, that video, and again, back to the guy, I'm not saying he did great. I don't know why he didn't double tap that guy. A lot of people are saying done a mag dump. I don't know if I'd have done a mag dump, but he would have got at least 2 or 3 rounds, if not 4. I mean, I don't know any agency that trains 1 round. You just don't shoot 1 round. The odds of you hitting is slim. The odds of you hitting a vital area that actually incapacitates somebody, normally the fatal T, they talk about fatal T, you put a line across here and right down the middle. You hit somebody in the brain stem, neck stem, spine, straight down, heart, vital organs, you'll probably get a 1 round knockdown. Maybe. If you're shooting a 380, maybe not. If you're shooting a round that doesn't expand, if you're shooting ball ammo versus hull, the odds of stopping somebody at 1 round. So the guy shooting 1 round, I don't know why he did that. It boggled me. I was kind of like, dude, he shot 1 round. My guess in his mind is she was fighting and he had her so close and she was all in the way. He didn't want to end up shooting her, and he took the 1 shot he could when he had an opportunity, and when the guy went back, he said, I don't need to take another shot, because he was worried about hitting her versus going in there and double or triple tapping and maybe getting her hit because she was in the way. So I'm not sure you're giving a male guy enough credit, not because he's a male. If it was a female that came and saved her, I'd be defending her, saying, look, I would have fired more than 1 round, I think. But I wasn't there. I didn't do it. We have to look at his eyes. We don't know what he was seeing. He didn't know. I think he didn't draw his gun until he saw a gun. He didn't see the gun until he got close. Then he went, holy shit, this guy's got a gun. Then he drew, and I think he took a good shot. Would I have taken more? I think I would have. But you know what? She was in the way a lot. If you go back and watch that video, they were pretty close. So it was... I told that story where I had to shoot that dog off that cop's leg. We were doing that warrant, and the dog was on his leg, and he's swinging, and he's hitting, and I moved right up next to him and shot like 3 rounds, and everybody was like, man, you could have killed the cop. You were shot in 2 cops. The people who outside the fence, they were giving him shit. The guy I shot him off was like, dude, thanks. We were buds. But other people who were watching was like, man, you shouldn't have shot that many times. He was too close. Hey, I got close enough to where I put 2 or 3 rounds in him close. But I knew my range where I was at. I was close enough to where, would I have made that shot if he was 20 feet away? Probably not. With this cop, if he had drawn early, could he went through the windshield? Could have. Could his rounds have ricocheted? Would it not have, would it messed up his vision? Would it crack the windshield so now he couldn't see what the bad guy was doing? He'd lose sight of the threat. I mean, questioning the guy that shot, I'm a little iffy on that. Not because he's a guy, not because he did everything perfect, only because he didn't realize what he was processing on the run, because he didn't get anything on the radio, I don't even know why he was there. If he was dispatch cover, he might have been in the car. I don't know what the hell happened. All I know is he heard her screaming, and he comes around the corner kind of like, what the hell's going on? He was kind of had a sense of urgency. He wasn't at a full-bore run. Had she said, gun, shoot him, he's got a gun, kill him, shoot him, I think his sense of urgency, and maybe he would have fired more. But she, again, another thing she failed to do, she didn't communicate anything. She went into panic and screamed. So, oh man, I sure brought my coffee over here. You know, look, I know there's some women that watch this and they're like, oh, he's just picking on women. Well, if you think that that woman is a fine star example of women cops, then you're a freaking idiot. I don't even know why the hell you're here. Because, I mean, she is just the epitome to me of a standard quota hire who was hired because of her sex and who has never had to maintain or qualify at a high standard. She's always been able to pass and survive at mediocre or low level. And that sets people up to get hurt. Not only her, it's not really fair to her. I mean, somebody in the agency knew that she shouldn't be out there doing this job. Nobody could say it. So it's unfair to her, and it's unfair to other officers who would either get hurt or have to go save her and end up getting hurt. The cop who shot the guy, he's the one that's going to get investigated. He's the one that's going to have to go to shrink. He's the one that's going to be blasted in the media for killing somebody. They were both white, so there won't be any issues in the media. But he's the one that's got to deal with everything now. Why? Because she couldn't. Because she set up a bad situation. She put herself in this situation that she couldn't handle, and now look what happened. Another guy had to come save her. Look, it is what it is. I know, I've even said this in other videos. I've worked with female cops who I would rather have back me up than some of the male cops I've worked with. I mean, there are some meek, just wimpy cops that they don't want to do anything. They never use force. They're scared. They're intimidated. They're quiet. They're measly. They'd rather sit behind a desk or issue their traffic tickets, and they don't want to get involved in anything. They always show up last and late. They never self-initiate. They never get involved in any type of violence crime unless it just stumbles in their face and they have to, and then they don't handle it well. But, so, this isn't about all females or all males. But, and if somebody wants to say that, I don't care. I mean, I've been hearing that shit forever. You can't say anything about anybody except a white male without being labeled some name. So, it's a great training video on what not to do. Anyway, I want to do a little follow-up on it because I'm getting some good comments on it. And there was a couple questions about the male officer and why he did double tap. Again, I'm a big double tap guy. I don't think anybody, I've never trained in all my law enforcement, even in military training, we've never trained single shot. It was always double tap. You've got to get multiple rounds. You can't be firing one round and then evaluating. At a long distance, you may want to do that. You can evaluate because you have time. Distance is your friend. When you're in a close encounter that's immediate and rapidly evolving, you can't shoot one round and then evaluate. Your evaluation time may get you shot and killed. So you need to dump as many rounds as you can into the suspect until you're sure he's going down, she's going down, she's no longer a threat, he's no longer a threat, and you know he's not going to be able to return fire and kill you if you stop. So, and that usually takes, I can get off 3 shots before you drop to the ground. Even if I hit you dead in the spine, I can still get 3 shots in you before you hit the ground. You can't fall fast enough that I can't get 3 shots in you. And there's guys that shoot faster than me, but I guarantee you can get 3 rounds off pretty damn quick. And you ain't falling before I can get 3 rounds on you. And even if I get my last round as you're going down, I'm firing 2 or 3 rounds if my life's in danger, because I've always trained that way. It's instinctive. I don't even train to where I draw in 1 round because I don't even want to think about that when I draw my gun and I have to shoot. That guy shot 1 round, and again, I'd have to talk to him to figure out why. Did he thought, was he worried about hitting her, and he was even nervous firing that first round? And I don't even know if he went through the windshield. I think he went through the gap. And if he did, you got to figure, a windshield, a side window's this big, and that girl wasn't freaking Minnie Mouse. She was probably covering that window, and she was hanging in the window, and she had her arms in the window. If he didn't go through the windshield, he shot through inches of that open window, missing the screaming woman and hitting his target. Pretty good shot. That could have been why he didn't shoot faster and why he didn't shoot multiple rounds. If and buts of coconuts, none of us was there. I just figured I'd throw that out there. Be glad when this damn cough's gone. All right, we'll end that there. Moki, she's like, dude, what's going on over there? All right, we'll say goodbye to Moki. My Moki Moke! Moki Moki Moki! I can't even make it out of this little screen. All right, we'll end it there.